What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to For Strategy Gaming. I've got a best of 3 series here for you today between ESC's GoOdy and MTW's DIMAGA. We're going to be starting things off here on Tal'Darim Altar. In the upper left-hand corner is GoOdy as our purple Terran player. And down over here in the bottom right, we do have the red Zerg player, DIMAGA. So yes, DIMAGA versus GoOdy starting off on Tal'Darim Altar. And once more, it will be a best of 3 series between these two. I did a couple of StarCraft commentaries yesterday. Hopefully you guys found those enjoyable. Also today I want to let you know that we do at the very least have a Zerg strategy video coming out. I think I might be able to do a Terran strategy video as well. We will just have to wait and see, though, how the chips fall and basically what I have in terms of available time throughout the course of the day. And then I'm thinking of throwing in just some other various game videos. I already did Diablo 3 one today, but that's enough about that. Let us focus on the game here. We can see right now GoOdy starting off with that first depot at the front of his natural expansion. This is going to imply some variation of a quick expansion build. He could go 1 Rax into expand, 2 Rax into expand, allowing him to apply some early pressure against DIMAGA. He's definitely got those two things as in terms of options right now based on what we're seeing him do thus far. Obviously, don't expect him to look at that. Coming out with a refinery, nonetheless, this is a very interesting build. I am thinking this is actually going to be a Reaper into expand build. That looks to be the case. He did delay, he cut off SCV production momentarily and got that Rax and refinery relatively early in relation to what you would typically do. You can see we're just at 13 supply and his refinery is finished. Typically the refinery in a standard build order would be coming at 13 supply. So as you can see, GoOdy going with that very fast refinery, allowing him to get up some quick gas. We'll let him get that Reaper opening and then move on into that expansion. So there we go with that Reaper opening. It's going to allow him to do some scouting. Now we take a look back over here into DIMAGA's base, and we can actually see he's going to have speedlings on the board very quickly. He looks to go Extractor first into pool, and that's going to put him at about 100 Vespene. The second that pool pops, you can see right there, and that's going to let him get that metabolic boost right away, and there you go. So DIMAGA with some very fast speedlings should do pretty well against this opening Reaper that we're seeing here from GoOdy. And again, that GoOdy will be following up with an expansion just as soon as he gets those 400 extra resources. He may even be going 2 or 3 Reapers. There's actually a second Reaper coming on out. So Reaper into expand here for GoOdy. And again, unfortunately, I do not think it's actually going to do all that great. Let's see what GoOdy did scout out. He did manage to see the Extractor, and if he clicked on that, he could have seen how many resources were left, and that, of course, tells him how long it's been up and where precisely DIMAGA is at in terms of his possibilities. And he should be aware of the fact that the speedlings are coming out. Now, GoOdy moving across with that first Reaper. Again, that second Reaper is in production. He's got a third Reaper following up after that. A couple SCVs moving on down, so we've been seeing some bunker placement here as well. Now, we can see DIMAGA trying to come up with this expansion. The metabolic boost very, very close to finish. We have got 6 speedlings coming out as well for DIMAGA. DIMAGA is prepared for this, it appears. Speedlings coming on down. We've got the attempted laydown of that bunker, but one SCV getting trapped. That gets taken care of. The second SCV getting taken care of as well. GoOdy is coming down with one more, but all those speedlings should be able to mop it up. We've got a Queen coming down as well. This is going to force GoOdy to cancel this bunker, trying to get a few more free kills of speedlings, losing the SCV, and again, going to be losing that bunker, forced to cancel it, trying to head back home, but not going to happen, surrounded by those speedlings, plus that Queen, and this Reaper's dead as well, and very unfortunate situation here for GoOdy. Now, as we can see, GoOdy decided to get up that factory first before moving into his expansion, trying to get some probably early game Hellions to help deal with that speedling counterattack that's coming. We've got a Reaper coming on through here as well, and here come the speedlings moving on up and going to start doing a little bit of damage here to GoOdy's frontal wall. We're going to need some SCVs down here to repair if at all possible, and unfortunately for GoOdy, that's going to cost him some resources. Now with that Reaper out, managing to actually push back those speedlings, DIMAGA deciding not to stay in there and continue to do the damage for fear of losing too many Zerglings there. So very interesting turn of events opening up. Again, GoOdy with that Reaper opening, a lot of times would be able to do a lot of damage, but DIMAGA going straight for those metabolic boost speedlings instantly. Again, going Extractor first into pool allowed him the ability to be able to handle that without issue, in all honesty. Now back over here, we can see DIMAGA is preparing to move into his third expansion, given the fact that he knows GoOdy is so far behind with that opening and the fact that he did 0 damage with those Reapers. Now GoOdy hugging the edge there of that cliff just to see when and if any speedlings push on in. Looks like he will be catching that one right there, and that's not really a danger at all. well. In fact, all right now DIMAGA's doing is just getting some scouting. He's checking the production buildings as well as those attachments, and with that metabolic boost, he's able to get away no problem whatsoever. And again, the Reaper just going to hang out there up on the high ground. So right now, DIMAGA's in a great position. He can most certainly drone up very hard right now and feel pretty comfortable about this. Now, do keep in mind, we do have this Roach Warren in play. He could be going for some sort of Roach aggression to counteract the fact that once more, GoOdy will be relatively far behind because he went for that strong Reaper opening and getting 3 Reapers early on, but pretty much did absolutely no damage. Now, we do have some Hellions preparing to move out right now, as well as that Infernal Pre-Igniter coming out, so GoOdy could use these to try to get himself back in the game. There we go, roasting a couple of Zerglings, free kills for him there. Very, very nice by GoOdy. Again, just getting what he can here and there. We'll take a look at the unit loss tab. Overall, as expected, GoOdy's still quite a bit behind, roasting those Zerglings. Set DIMAGA behind a little bit, but still not as bad as GoOdy was from that opening and subsequent lack of damage. We got some tanks coming on through, and that the Infernal Pre-Igniter just about finished right now, so we should be seeing these Hellions push out sometime relatively soon. Doesn't look like, well, we do have a Starport in play. I'm not sure if we have a medevac. Yes, we do have a medevac in play. Where is it, though? Should be heading on over. There we go. So we will be seeing a drop here from GoOdy. GoOdy will be loading up these Hellions here right into that medevac, dropping into the main and or natural expansion and trying to do as much damage as humanly possible. Now back over here for GoOdy, what do we have going on? Looks like we just got a couple roaches in play. He has droned up pretty hard. We in fact have 7 drones coming on out, also working his way up into layer tech right now. Now that Infernal Pre-Igniter Hellion drop will be coming in just one moment, and here we go, moving straight on into that natural expansion. Let's see how much damage GoOdy can do with this. Oh my gosh, all these workers coming down at the absolute worst time. And GoOdy, fantastic position there. Roasted so many of DIMAGA's workers. That was entirely devastating. That is exactly what GoOdy needed. Let's take a look now at those units lost tab, and DIMAGA severely behind. He had just transferred over so many workers. Immediately, GoOdy dropping those Blue Flame Hellions and roasting nearly all of them. Let's take a look here. How many workers were killed? GoOdy killing off 12 workers total there in that drop, plus a ton of Zerglings. Very, very nice indeed. GoOdy might be going in for a second drop right now. Now, we do have a few roaches there. Not a ton, though. That is only 3, so GoOdy could still do a bit of damage here. Spotting those roaches and a couple of Zerglings plus that queen was enough to actually force GoOdy to push back and actually bypassing that Overlord right there. So DIMAGA knowing exactly where this medevac is going, although not too much he can really do about it. Looks like he may be actually moving that medevac over here and grabbing the tower for now. Wouldn't be too surprised if he actually moved on over into that third to see what he could do for damage. He's first going to be checking up here to see if DIMAGA has dropped an expansion. Now let's take a look at what GoOdy has prepared for transitions. Looks like a mech style play will be coming out. We got a lot of factories coming out, also working up those plate level 1 for those mech units. And here we go, Hellions moving right up into the third. Gonna be trying to target fire down some workers. Need to try to avoid that roach fire as much as possible. He's just taking it though, trying to kill as many workers as he can. And let's see how many more he got. He was at 12, now total 18. So killing off 6 workers in that engagement. Want to take a look here at the income tab. GoOdy looking to be a little bit ahead. It's actually a kind of toss-up back and forth between the two, but GoOdy certainly setting DIMAGA behind quite a bit in those last 2 drops that we saw from him. So absolutely phenomenal play there for GoOdy. Now, in terms of DIMAGA, what does he have going on? Well, as we can see, Infestation Pit coming out with those pathogenic glands, giving those infestors extra energy once they do eventually pop. We have got 2 evolution chambers coming out as well for DIMAGA. We'll be starting those upgrades. Also, that roach speed coming on through. Taking a look at the units that he has in play right now, just sitting on the 12 roaches, and that's about it. We've got 4 Zerglings on the map as well, but he's just been focusing on his economy, even though he has taken some pretty hefty losses. We're going to be getting 1 Hellion here at this tower. We do also have this medevac scouting out. A couple Speedlings will be attempting to move out to towers, however, they will be... Oh, there's just an SCV. I thought that was going to be a Hellion. Although we've got 1 tank and 2 Hellions moving down, and that will take care of that Zergling. See you later. Now the Zergling grabbing this tower right here. Not sure if he can actually see much of that push. No, not really. He did spot it with that Speedling, though, that was scouting out, so we should know this coming across the map. We got a couple roaches here, but that tank plus these Hellions should be enough. That DPS and that unsieged tank manages to do quite a number on those roaches. Roaches turning around, target firing down 1 Hellion, and then pulling back there. Hellions in hot pursuit. Not sure they're going to be able to do too much damage. You need to be careful there. GoOdy needs to be very careful. He's going to actually be losing the SCV there and then losing the Hellion, and we've got those tanks continuing to push forward. So DIMAGA making a push across the map. That roach gets taken care of. However, he did lose a couple of Hellions in that engagement. We got some Thors moving down, and here we go. Infested Terran, we're going to be trying to get a roach around right now. DIMAGA doing what he can to walk into the siege line. taking massive splash damage though from the tanks. We've got those Hellions and the Thor for a buffer. Unfortunately, those Infestors not really doing too much. We get some reinforcements here as well. Raven moving on down for some Cloak Burrow detection most likely, and then the ability to drop that point defense zone if necessary, but as you can see, not really. And DIMAGA forced to call the GG there. GoOdy opened up this game with some attempted Reaper harass. However, DIMAGA was fully prepared for it, moving forward with a couple of Zerglings, which momentarily became Speedlings. He was able to target fire down those SCVs, force the cancel of that bunker, and shoo away the Reaper. After that Reaper opening, we saw GoOdy move on into his expansion as well as work up to some Blue Flame Hellions. And in successfully defending that opening Reaper harass, we also saw DIMAGA move into his third and macro up. We then saw GoOdy move out with a Blue Flame Hellion drop, and very unfortunate for DIMAGA, he had just transferred down a ton of workers, and we're going to see how quickly these Blue Flame Hellions were able to mop them up, doing a lot of damage, killing off a few Zerglings there as well, and then once the Roaches and Queens came, just lifting up and heading home. After that, GoOdy moved into DIMAGA's third, and even though there's some Roaches and Queen there to defend, GoOdy still target fired down the workers, managed to get a few more kills, and continue to set DIMAGA behind economically. We then saw a strong tank push from GoOdy, and being so far behind economically, DIMAGA didn't have the resources necessary to make enough to deal with this siege line, plus these Blue Flame Hellions and that Thor, and was forced to call the GG. Alright guys, that was game number 1 here in this best of 3 series between DIMAGA and GoOdy. We'll be moving on to game number 2 in just one moment. As always, if you like the content, please subscribe, keep watching, and keep owning.